When you think of country music, you might think of cowboy hats, honky tonks, and line dancing. But one might not just think of it as Judaism. But one man, Joe Buchanan, is wanting to change all that. So let's take a listen to some of his tunes.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom Hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim.
And joining us now is Joe Buchanan. Thank you so much for being here. Great tunes. And first of all, you weren't born Jewish, so tell us about your journey and how and why you actually converted.
Yeah, wow, that's a big question. I'll give you the most Reader's Digest version of it that I possibly can. I grew up very much believing in God, but my parents didn't. So I went seeking God through, whatever kind of religious institution I could find. I wasn't getting any answers and was just being told all the time that I was the problem as a kid. So I gave up on everything. Fast forward, I met my wife, fell crazy in love. And then 13 years into our marriage, we're standing outside the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. And she says, I want to get in touch with my people's faith. And I said, what are you talking about? And she goes, Joe, I'm Jewish. And I said, well, how'd you get Jewish? What do you mean? And she goes, I was born Jewish. I said, you can't just be born Jewish. I don't know if that's how it works. She's like, Joe, that's how it works. It's a true story. And I wasn't born Jewish. No one in my family's Jewish. I never met anyone Jewish growing up. And I live in Houston, Texas. So we have a massive Jewish population here, but all the synagogues are in the neighborhoods. And no one was walking around, wearing a kippah back in those days, or at least that I ever saw. So we found a rabbi that's close to the house, walked in. This is what happened. This Rabbi Stuart Federow in Houston, Texas. And he says, hi, Stuart the rabbi. And I looked at my wife. I was like, oh, I love this guy. And I said, my name's Joe. This is my wife, April. And this is our son, Nathan, who just found out that he's Jewish. And none of us know what any of this means. And here's what he said to me that made me want to do it. He said, he looked right at me. He said, well, there's one God, and there's nothing wrong with you. He said, you're loved by your Creator exactly like this because you're part of creation and loved by God as you are. He said, you do good because it puts good in the world. It's not for a reward later or fear of punishment. The good you see in the world is the reward for doing good. He said, and we don't know what happens next. We just know what happens now. This is the gift, and you have to take care of it. And it was everything I believed as a young person. It was everything my grandparents taught me. And I thought, well, yeah, can I do this? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, can I be Jewish? He was like, yeah, sure. I said, is that all of it? That's the whole thing? He goes, no, there's a lot more, Joe. It's going to take a while. So I jumped in as fast as I could because all of a sudden it was like 30 years of therapy all at the same time. It was so healing. It was such a beautiful message. No adult had ever said anything like that to me when I was a kid. And I thought, this is the thing I've been looking for all my life. So I went through the conversion process, started writing this music, and I'm trying to put as much of that out there in the world as possible.
Wow, what an incredible story. Clearly, we know there haven't been many Jewish country music stars. Bob Dylan, known as Bobby Zimmerman. I mean, he kind of counts as country. The most famous, the closest to. So what actually inspired you to go down the route of actually combining Judaism with the country tunes?
I consider myself a religious person. I have a strong belief and love of God, and what we believe, as a people, very much aligned with what I believed before I got here. So, in my mind, I'm like, this is the perfect fit. But as far as country music and it being sort of Jewish music and also about religious Jewish things, it was just a very natural fit for me. Country music at its core, and when it's at its best, is a storytelling art, right? It's about people, their stories. It's often about spirituality and things like that. And our prayers have such a soothing comfort to them. And there's so much comfort and coziness that can exist in country music, and does. And it just made perfect sense to me. And you're right, we haven't had a lot of, I think there are a lot of probably country singers that are Jewish. There's probably not a lot of country singers that are very much where that's what they're putting out, is sort of their identity very openly in their music. I know we had Kinky Friedman for sure, who is just an absolute legend. There's a fellow named Troy Breslow out of Virginia currently right now, a good friend of mine doing it. And then we've got folks like that are sort of adjacent doing bluegrass stuff that's Jewish, like Nefesh Mountain, and then you got folks like Abby Strauss and Saul Kaye that are also making kind of great American Jewish music. But yeah, not a ton of Jewish country out there, and I didn't know that again at the time. I'm just trying to make the thing that is most authentic to who I am, what I believe, and hopefully do some good with it.
And you, of course, have played in the U.S., but also Israel. How have Israelis been reacting to country music? And also, what do American country fans think of your fusion of Judaism in the songs?
Yeah, it's been a really positive experience. We also I play this kind of the Jewish music that I do. I also play it in secular venues like bars at South by Southwest and stuff. And folks have been very, very open to it. It's funny, sometimes I'll walk in Jewish communities and, I've got my hat on, I've got my boots on, I'm getting ready to lead services or do a concert or things like that. And some people had that sort of, what's happening? What is this? This isn't what we usually do kind of look. But, after a couple minutes, we're all singing together and having a great time. The response has been tremendous, really tremendous. And, over in Israel, when I was there last time, which was March of 2023, it was a very closed trip. We were with a group. We weren't doing a lot of public things, but people were very open about it. Since I started doing more with my social media, I've been just flooded with messages from people in Israel that want me to come and do this over there. So we've got a couple of shows lined up now, and the response has been incredible. It's been really overwhelmingly positive.
Wow, so amazing and inspiring and fascinating. Thank you so much, Joe, for joining us and for sharing your good spirit and your good music. Don't go anywhere because we are at the end of our show. So we want to thank you so much for watching. And to play us out, here is Joe Buchanan. Take it away.
Yeah, this is a song called My Beloved. It's off our brand new album, Heaven and Earth. It's a love song. It's about my wife and I, but I'm finding the more I play it live, people are saying it's their song too. So maybe it's your song. I hope you enjoy it. I tell her she's everything. She says I'm alright. I like it tall, glass of whiskey. She likes a little shot of wine. Any day there's a way I can see her face. It's a day when the sun shines, and I'm my beloved's. My beloved is mine. It ain't always easy, but it's always good. We don't agree on everything, but we agree where we should. And if I need to know that God loves the world, she's the sign, and I'm my beloved's. My beloved is mine. I ain't got no rhythm, and she's the dancing queen. The belle of the ball, she took me right off the wall, showed me what love means. Anytime we get the chance, you can bet we'll dance in the kitchen or the grocery store. You know you found the right one when the world is your dance floor. I tell her she's everything. She says I'm all right.